Hey everybody, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Hannah.
And welcome to Barefaced.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. So for those of you who listened last week, you know that today's episode is part 2 of our 2020 Superlatives. We're going to jump right into it, but we first just wanted to quickly thank everyone who has listened and subscribed. Your support
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it really means a lot to me and Sarah. And we're just so excited that you guys are, enjoying what we're putting out there. We also love to hear your thoughts and connecting with you all on social. So again, thank you so much for doing that. And for those of you who haven't, please do so. We're eager to connect with you all. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get into part 2.
We can stop gushing about pharmacy because there are lots of products I want to try from them this year.
Yes.
And get on to our flops of the year.
Yes. Ugh,
it was really hard for me to choose just one, which is really sad.
But you know what, though? It is sad, but here's the thing I will say as a disclaimer is that just because it was a flop for me or just because it was a flop for Sarah, there are many people out there, I'm sure, who love these two products. So
100%.
I wouldn't write them off. Yeah.
Yeah. My product is actually a super well-loved product. It is the Drunk Elephant Framboise Night Acid Treatment.
Okay.
So I have, again, a love-hate relationship with Drunk Elephant.
I think everyone on the planet.
I think because they're so hypey, I don't want to love them. But I have tried some products. There's another Drunk Elephant product on this list that I'm freaking obsessed with.
Right.
And mostly I think when I worked in store as a beauty rep, I was just jealous of how many people would come in and be like, I want to buy Drunk Elephant. And they would just make money so quickly. So now being removed from that, I think this product it is the texture for me 100%. It is a very, very thick, goopy, almost when it has a ton of hyaluronic acid in it,
is it their night serum?
It's their night serum. It's the pink one.
Okay.
So I had tried it when I first started at Sephora. They sent us a bunch of little minis.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I tried it and I remember being like, it's whatever. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. And then I got another product from Drunk Elephant, which I'll talk about later. And I bought a full size and it came as a tester, in the the thing. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll give it another try. And I really liked it for a day. The first day, I loved what it did for my skin.
Yeah.
And then I never saw any results for the rest of my and I had a trial, so 2 weeks, not a crazy long time.
Yeah, but still, you can, especially with the night serum. I've seen with serums after 2 weeks, my face feels smoother, my face feels brighter.
I wanted it to be really
brighter,
bright. And the texture for me just isn't it. It's not there. Where an Essence, I think I'm a little bit more okay with it being it's a very similar texture actually to the CoStarX. But if I already have that in a Essence, I don't want to have that texture multiple times on my skin. I want my serums to absorb quickly because I tend to layer.
Of course. Yeah, definitely.
So it was sad. It's my second time trying it and just no bueno, not for me.
Yeah. My flop of the year is a very popular sunscreen. It's the Elta MD UV Clear Broad Spectrum SPF 46. Now,
it's a very specific SPF.
It is, I know. But you know what, though? I appreciate them being very specific instead of rounding up like another brand that mismarketed their SPF this year.
Ooh.
That was a whole big drama I saw on the Instagram that I will not get into because I'm not an expert on it. So I probably 10% of other people, maybe more, I don't know. Kourtney Kardashian talked about Elta MD, so I had to try Elta MD.
You are such a Kardashian lover. You did the same thing with Kylie, and I kind of appreciate you for it. I like that you dig into it.
But you know what, though? It's I just want to give products their fair chance. No matter who I heard it from, I don't want to discriminate because of who talked about it. But she did a video. It was how a get ready with me in the morning. And she had some very interesting products. And one of the brands that she talked about as a sunscreen was Elta MD. And then I went to the dermatologist office and she had in her office Elta MD. And I asked her about it and she said, it's very good. It's expensive, So I recommend, if you want a lower price one, La Roche-Posay makes some great ones, which another dermatologist had recommended. Well, La Roche-Posay has a bunch. So it's funny because I've tried 2 sunscreens from them. One of them I didn't like, and I think we can do a whole episode about sunscreen, so I can talk about that. One of them I did like. So anyway, the Ulta MD one, this one is meant to be for, I have a picture, calms and protects acne prone skin.
Did it protect your acne prone skin?
Oh my God, my skin was so red. I used this for about 2.5 months. I gave this a try. I used it with the same skincare that I was using all summer. For background, my skin really cleared up in June, so I kept using what I was doing. And then I ran out of the sunscreen that I was using in June, which was the Sundays vitamin C one, Sundays with the ZE. And I got the Ulta MD one, and I stopped using it about a month ago or so.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I think it was right around Thanksgiving. Could have been after. And immediately my skin cleared up. And so it was definitely the sunscreen. But the other thing that really irritated me is that my skin would be fine, and then I'd put the sunscreen on and I would instantly be irritated and hot. And I would just be like, oh my God, my skin, it just feels like heavy. Like it feels heavy from the irritation that's building, and it just felt raw. That's the word I was looking for, raw, not. So
that's not a good feeling.
And it wasn't like it was a brand. I mean, it was a new product, but after 2 months, you'd think, you know what I mean?
Your skin would either get used to it or
yeah. So I have
something.
and here's the thing too, people might be like, oh, if it's doing that for your skin, like, why would you keep using it? Because I really don't like wasting product.
And it was expensive.
And it was expensive, and I wanted to try, and it literally says made for acne prone skin. Like, here I am believing the marketing. And here's the thing also, so many people love this product. Like, again, where I purchased it, there were so many positive reviews. Obviously there were some negative reviews, but so many were positive, especially with people with acne prone skin. So clearly I just had a reaction to something in the ingredients. I don't know what it is. I did take a break from using it for 2 weeks, and then I went back to it, and I still got the same reaction. So again, it's like I tried all of it and it was just really bad, but I do have a little bit left, and I think I'm just going to use it on my arms or something. Like, I just don't, I hate throwing away products. So this is, if like a moisturizer breaks me out, I'll use it on my legs. Like, if a cleanser doesn't work for me, I'll use it on my body. If the SPF doesn't work for me,
use it somewhere else.
I've got my whole body to use SPF. So yeah, that is my flop of the year. And I was really sad about it, because
that's so frustrating. And I totally agree with, like, I hate wasting products. This was the first year where I don't know what overtook my body on December 31st. I cleaned like nobody has cleaned in my, since probably I came back to Michigan. Because when I moved back, I kind of just dumped everything and I organized it.
Yeah.
But I didn't do, I was too emotionally traumatized from leaving New York to actually clean everything out. So I went through all of my beauty drawers, and if anything was expired or quote unquote wasn't serving me anymore, AKA I wasn't going to try it.
The fact that you just said that, because when I was going through my stash on Friday,
I stole it from you.
Okay, so it must have been Saturday. Maybe it was.
You said something to me, and I was like, "You're right. It's not serving me anymore."
I was like, getting rid of all that does not serve. And Jay was just like, "Okay, beauty products, just get them out of the apartment."
For example, I had a full size bottle or jar of the Ulla Hendrickson Banana Bright, which you had given me last March. You gave it to me, the eye cream.
Yeah.
And I had gone through a whole bottle and I liked it. But at this point, it's been open for a year. It's expired. Yeah. I know I'm not going to use it. I have other eye creams I want to try.
Yeah.
And even though it's a full-size product, I kind of, for lack of a better term, said, fuck it. And threw everything that was I knew I wasn't going to use, and that I would consider it's been open long enough or grimy enough to where I don't feel comfortable giving it away. Because sometimes if I've started a product and I have it for a month or two, like that product you'd sent me a month ago that we both are just not loving. So yeah, I basically went through, and anything that was too grimy or that I wouldn't give away, because I do try and rehome my beauty products like they're my children.
Stop. Did you just say like they're my children? Another reference to a horrible scandal, Sarah.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
We're wrapping up 2020. The shade.
It's wrapped. It's January 5th. No, we can't. Oh, the shade.
Anyway,
we try to use up any beauty products, but here's the thing I want to say: if it's expired and it's past the point of expiration,
out.
There is sometimes there is some leeway, right? It's like when you see,
True.
when you have a carton of mac and cheese and it said it expired a month prior. Can you still eat it? Sure, I would.
I always say there's a difference between products like mac and cheese and milk, right? Like,
yes. But I mean, that's the thing with beauty products. Smell it. If it smells funky, throw it out. If you put it on, it gives you a reaction, throw it out.
throw it out.
Yeah. But
I have powder products that are a decade old, which is disgusting, but they still work. Out. Listen, they
what
still
kind
work.
Of powder? What were we talking about?
Eyeshadows.
Oh,
eyeshadows.
Okay. Yeah, but that goes near your eye and like imagine. I don't know if that is a slippery slope.
Listen, I clean my products. I go through and clean my makeup products on like a semi-annual basis. And if they're still working, I go through and like take alcohol and swab all of my products, like my powders and I clean everything.
Okay, I've never in my life done that.
It's because I'm a makeup artist.
Yeah. Do you so you swab them? You just like don't spray them with alcohol?
Yeah. So I'll take like a tissue and like spray the tissue with alcohol and then like wipe everything down and like just all the individual colors.
Just to be on the safe side, I'm just gonna say if anyone out there has a 10-year-old eyeshadow palette, I'm gonna err on the side of caution and throw it out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's smart, but they're sentimental at this point because I'm a collector.
Okay, keeping them because you want to look at them and be sentimental and you have a hard time parting with it, I can understand. But continuing to use it is a different story.
Yeah. So. I'm on the big believer of if the consistency hasn't changed, if the formula is still the same and it doesn't give you a reaction, you're good to go. I know Hannah's making a face at me and she doesn't agree with that. I spend a lot of money on my beauty products and I'm going to use them until they are fucking used.
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it though, I just didn't realize how old I was and at what point in my life, like I purchased my Naked palette and that was
You still have a Naked palette? So you have no room to preach at me. I don't even have any. I gave away all my Naked palettes years ago.
But you know why I kept it though? Is because I know they're not making it. It's not that I use it. I haven't used my Naked palette in
5 years,
at least since I was in Denver, so that was at least 2 years ago.
The original Naked I never owned, and I wish I had because it was so good. I owned every other Naked palette.
See, who's smart? Me, because who still has their original Naked palette? Moi. Is it usable? Absolutely not.
Probably not. I upgraded.
What? If I have a child, and if that child is interested in makeup, and if that child comes to me and says,
it's a piece of history.
Yes, it's
the first palette. Like the Naked palette was the palette, right? Like it's the thing that started the trend.
Hi, YouTube influenced
me.
Anyways,
we're really, really off topic. So let me reel it back in. I have a beauty honorable mention. So this is I took this as like a
wait. Hang on, you skipped a category.
Oh, I did.
And you know what?
So sorry.
I thought I actually read this category wrong. I thought it was most hyped product I tried, not best hype product.
Yeah, I was confused by your answer on this one because you did not like what you put down.
Yeah. Okay. So
do you want me to go first and you can think of your best?
No, I'm gonna still talk about it. I'm just gonna say what I thought the category was.
So my best quote unquote hype product that I tried. So the thing that was super hypey that everyone loved is a Drunk Elephant product, and it's called F-Bomb. I believe it launched in January of 2020. I want to say it was a new launch. Yes. It's phenomenal. It's the only mask, because it's a mask, that I've used consistently and have already had to repurchase a jar. I got some samples from a rep when it first launched and fell in love with it. So I use it as a finishing step instead of an oil. So if I'm doing a lot of exfoliation or I want to use a thinner moisturizer, it's like a rich gel texture that just has a bunch of really good ingredients for you. It has, I think its thing is vitamin F. I never really deep dived into the ingredients because I just kind of couldn't be bothered.
Right.
This is the other thing, right? Like we're not doctors. We're not dermatologists.
Yeah.
We don't have the, like, I can say like, I like the ingredients.
Yeah.
But like, I like the ingredients for me. And there are some ingredients like I choose personally not to use. Right. Because for me and my skin, I've discovered that they just don't work and that other ingredients work really, really well.
Yes.
So I specifically remember this Drunk Elephant H-Bomb. Just really
F-bomb.
helping soothe F-bomb, H-bomb,
Yeah.
different kind of bomb, Sarah. A Freudian slip. The F-bomb, it's just a really nice hydrating. You can use it either as a 10-minute mask for the price point you're paying, just wear it as an overnight sleeping mask. And I basically would still do my traditional skincare routine and then just be it as my last layer. And I would glob
that's what I
on.
thought of when it launched. I was like, oh, this is an overnight moisturizer. It's an overnight mask. Yeah. So I read this category as just like the most hyped product that I tried, like the most hyped of the year. So this for me was Fenty Beauty.
Ugh,
we
had such different experiences with this brand.
Yeah. But so here's the thing. Like I read this product or this category as this got the most hype over the whole year. And
100% it did.
Yeah. And I got the 3-step kit. Sarah, you got the 3-step kit.
Yep.
Or whatever. The cleanser was fine. I think it's a good cleanser. I don't think I would repurchase it unless it was on sale or something. It was fine. It was fine.
It was good. It wasn't great.
I haven't tried fat toner because I use the
fat
SPF.
Water.
Excuse me?
Fat water.
What did I say?
You said fat toner.
Oh, okay. I haven't used the toner called Fat Water because I tried the SPF and the FPS made me really break out and I just got little bumps everywhere. But here's the thing though, it's like now that I'm talking out loud, I also had a really bad reaction with the Elta MD and I wasn't using them at the same time. I remember I was using the other SPF and then I went into Fenty. Then that's why I bought Elta. Now I'm remembering the year.
It's coming back to you.
Yeah. So you know what? It's like I still have, I gave it to my sister. I was like, I still have the SPF from Fenty. Maybe I'll use it. But no, I gave it to my sister because I was just like, I don't want to go down this path again. So yeah, that was the most hyped I tried. And I haven't tried Fat Water. So, I've heard a lot of people love it. So I'll try it and I'll let you know.
Yeah. I had a really similar vibe with the face wash. It's still sitting in my shower. I'm not allowed to put a new face wash in there until I finish it. And it's taking forever.
Yeah.
I like the Fat Water a lot. I was really hoping because they marketed it as like this like serum, toner, essence, everything all in one. I knew that for nighttime that wouldn't be the case for my routine. Mm-hmm. But for daytime, I was like, oh, maybe I can just use that one product and it'll give me the glow and everything I love. And then I'll just use a moisturizer and my skin routine will be super simple. I'm not sure if it's just I like to layer a lot of products or it didn't do enough. I like it. I think Fenty, I remember saying this when I first got it and first tried it. I remember calling Hannah like with my thoughts. And I think it is going to be for Gen Z what the Clinique 3-step system was for the millennials.
Yeah.
Like it just has, and Fenty's so good at what they do because it has super trendy ingredients. It has super clean ingredients. It has clinical results. And for a brand to do all of that and to not make it look kitschy or like they're trying too hard is really difficult.
Yeah.
Somehow Fenty pulls it off. And I don't know if it's just because like it's Rihanna or they just have an amazing team that markets their products.
Right.
But
isn't it Kendo Brands that does it?
It's Kendo. Yeah. So it's Sephora owned. It just launched everywhere.
No, that's
Sephora.
Separate than Sephora.
So Kendo's under LVMH.
Is Sephora under LVMH?
Yes, it is. Stop. Louis Vuitton.
I thought it was. I thought. I thought they were separate.
No, so that's why if you go into a Sephora, for example, they will push things like KVD Vegan Beauty, Fenty, Ulla Henriksen, Marc Jacobs. Those are all in-house brands. So same with Rare Beauty. I think Rare Beauty is technically an LVMH brand. It's a Kendo brand. So is Patrick Starr. I think all of those like brands, and apparently JLo's doing a thing now too.
I know, I saw that.
I don't know how I feel about it, but yeah.
Speaking of, did you see that movie with JLo where she is this like beauty person and she works at a grocery store and then she gets a job at a beauty development company?
No, but I know which one you're talking about. I need to watch it.
Yeah, you need to watch it.
Okay.
As someone who's worked in the industry, watch it and then let me know.
I'll appreciate it. Okay.
Thought. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we can do a whole episode on other like marketing trendy things because I think we have a lot of expertise in like why marketing works and sometimes why it doesn't. There have been many.
I mean, I don't know if we have expertise, but we definitely have experience.
I have thoughts
in it. Yeah. We might not be experts, but we have thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on, because I kind of forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah, I did too. It's okay. We have only 5 categories left, so we'll try and not get off topic.
Yes.
So best honorable beauty mention. So I took this as skincare or beauty.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I wanted to hype up the Ilia skin tint. This was by far my most used beauty makeup product of the year.
Yeah.
It was the thing that I reached for, I'd say the most. And I think it's something everyone who is going to be like post-quarantining, wanting to go out and having a skin option, everyone needs it. It comes in,
that's the little dropper, right?
It's the little dropper. It has an SPF of 40 or 45. I can never remember. So I bought it as like, it was an extra SPF on top of what I was already doing.
Yeah.
It is, I would even say, lighter than a tinted moisturizer. It's very, very light. It gives a beautiful glowy sheen to the skin. So yeah, SPF 40. It has niacinamide, squalene, and hyaluronic acid. It's 12% zinc oxide, which I think is quite a high percentage for a beauty product. But I just feel like in general, it's this perfect sheen where I can still see my freckles through it, which I love. But I also don't feel like it irritates my skin when I wear my mask. And it's that perfect, like, no makeup look.
Does it move when you wear your mask?
If I don't powder it, yes. I've also been really into Bare Minerals. I've really gotten back into Bare Minerals this year because it's so light and gentle. So I'll put Bare Minerals just on like my mask part and like my cheeks, basically.
Just to set it. Yeah.
Just to set it. And that also has SPF. So, just getting it all in there.
Getting it all in there. Yeah.
I think Ilia is one of those brands in beauty. Them and Kostas are like the 2 brands that I think we all have to keep an eye out for because they are coming in hot in that like green space. And
what's so funny though is that when I first started with my old company in Denver, those were some of the first brands that we brought on. Like we brought on Kostas when they just had those 12 lipsticks, and Ilia's packaging was totally different.
Oh yeah.
And she just had she had like 6 tinted moisturizers. And I remember when she came out with her very, very first foundation that she doesn't make anymore, and it's in that silver packaging. I remember that. Yeah, that makes me feel old. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, they both are doing amazing things. And I definitely, here's the thing. I would have tried the skin tint if I think I would have like left my house more and needed a foundation, but I just wasn't purchasing complexion products because I wasn't seeing anyone, and I wasn't going out. So I didn't care really.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the only complexion products other than concealer. I did a lot of concealers this year because that was really all I was wearing was skin tint. I liked it a lot. I went out to a lake house that friends of my family owns like 3 or 4 times this summer for a week on end, just like get out of the world. And that's when I would wear it, is like when I wanted to like put something on, but I didn't want to look like I had anything on, like just because my redness is so strong, I just want to like tone it down, but it's still shown through, which I liked.
I have a drugstore, it's like a BB, I think it's Maybelline, and
that one's good too. I've tried that.
It's so
they're
good.
Actually quite similar. But yeah, the Maybellines are really similar consistency. And I think it'd be a good drugstore dupe. I use that as like my first BB cream and loved it.
Yeah, that was kind of one of those things I discovered when I like needed something, and it was just like, okay, here's the drugstore. It's the only thing around. Let me pick up this. Yeah. And it was awesome. And I still, to this day, it's one of those things.
That's a YouTube made me buy it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. Okay. I
don't remember who. But I remember seeing it on YouTube and being like, I need that, which was like how I live my life now. Now it's Instagram. Like, I need that.
Yes, definitely. Yes. So my honorable mention is the Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. And
I've never tried it.
Oh my gosh. I saw
so good things.
Yes. So many good things. So I had to try it. I got the little, I think it's a 2-ounce trial size, and it's amazing. My skin looked so good. Like, I am very lucky in that I don't have large pores on my cheeks. It made them look even smaller than they are. It looked, awesome. My skin looked so good and so healthy when I used it. So that is definitely something that I would like to keep in my rotation of toners. It was just so good. Yeah, I loved that product. Enough said. I mean, if you haven't tried it, try it.
So apparently I need to try it.
Apparently you need to try it.
Because I haven't tried it.
Yeah.
All right. And then best drugstore brand of the year. We probably should have lumped this with like best skincare brand, but Best drugstore brand of the year. I'm going to go with Pacifica. I
Okay.
discovered quite a few products from them. I really think Target and Ulta and these drugstore brands are stepping up their game in terms of like good ingredients. Because like I don't want to be
Drugstore
a
brands,
snob.
or because you said Target, Ulta, and that's retailers. So what do you mean?
Sorry. So like drugstore retailers
Okay.
have really started the brands that they carry. Let me rephrase. The brands that they carry in that drugstore classification,
Yeah.
I feel like have really stepped up their game. So I don't want to sound like a snob, but I tend to never reach for things like Neutrogena, Olay, Clean and Clear. I have been converted to CeraVe. Sarah, is that how you say it?
That's
The
how I
cleanser you
say
made me
it.
buy it.
Yeah.
I have been recently converted to some of their products, but
Yeah.
overall, I'm not a huge drugstore skincare person. Huge drugstore makeup girl. I find it really difficult to find good drugstore skincare that I love.
Yeah.
And Pacifica is a really nice middle of the road. It's actually cheaper than I'd say a lot of like the Biodermas, the Vichy price points.
Yeah.
The ingredients are still really good.
Yeah.
They have some really good sheet masks. I've loved their moisturizers. I love their water boost serum. I bought it as like, and it's almost the same price as the hyaluronic acid I was buying from The Ordinary. And I like the formulation is better.
Yeah. I've tried a couple things from Pacifica. A few things actually, and two of the products that stand out that I love. I honestly don't know if they make like one of them is called the Rice Bright. It's a rice exfoliating facial wash. It's a very soft, it's like hardly a grit. So it's more of a just like a you could use as a daily face wash. That was awesome. And then they had this amazing mask. It was a caffeine mask, and I've looked for it because when I was younger and I would go out and I would drink and I would come home and I would decide to make the decision to not wash my face before bed, I would wake up in the morning regretting my decision while also craving a Gatorade. And you know what I would do is I would wash my face, remove my makeup, I would put that mask on, and a mix of the hydrating ingredients and the caffeine just made my skin come back to life. And it was like this pudding texture, and it was amazing. I loved it, and I can't find it. So I don't know if they if it's sealed and not expired, I'll buy it. Maybe Poshmark, I'll look on that. But yeah, it was so good. And those are the two Pacifica products that I've tried that stand out in my mind.
Yeah. They're good. I appreciate them.
Yeah. My best drugstore brand, and you know what's funny is that you were saying you don't really you're not really drawn towards drugstore skincare. Well, mine is La Roche-Posay, which is not a typical drugstore brand. Like this would not have been in the drugstore, but it is at the Walgreens, around the corner from my apartment. And I love their products. I've tried multiple cleansers from them. I've tried moisturizers, sunscreens. Some I love, some, not so much, but I
think their brand is really nice.
Yeah.
I've tried a couple things. So when again, in my younger years, when
I
would go to Canada, their beauty is completely different. It's kind of like being in a British YouTube. Wow. It's kind of like being in a British beauty store.
Yes.
And La Roche-Posay is huge in Canada. Yeah. So I definitely have tried, I think, one or two products. They would be someone I'd really like to reach.
I mean, what they did essentially was they took the top brands. When you go to France, you go to, the pharmacie. They have La Roche-Posay, they have Nuxe, they have Bioderma, they have the other one, Vichy. They have another one that looks like Bioderma that's not. And they took those brands and they brought them to, and they created that little drugstore, that little French pharmacy within the American drugstore. And I'm here for it. And I love it.
I'm here for it. I want to go to France. We had plans last year to go to France together. And then the plans got moved to go to France together this year. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Yeah,
we'll see. I want Hannah to take me to the French pharmacy because I've never been to France and she has been to France many a times.
So to clarify, my mom's from France. My whole family lives there. On my
You're a dual
side.
citizen of France too, right?
I am, yeah. And my sister lives there. So yeah, I go there and I see her. I see my aunts. I see my cousins, my grandma, all that kind of stuff. And my best friend she did live there. She actually just moved to Spain 2 months ago.
Casually.
She is the coolest person you'll ever meet. I will say, she is the coolest person. She went to school in Canada, then she moved to France, and now she's in Madrid. Well, actually, then she was in Madrid. Then she went back to France, and now she's in Madrid again. I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting
Traveling
off
the
topic.
globe.
She's a very cool person. Anyway, getting off topic. But yeah, anyway, I'm here for all those drugstores brands that they're bringing into our drugstore, because you're right. It makes it, a little bit more interesting.
And it makes other brands that are already there, it makes them step up their game.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will say, as much as I don't love like Neutrogena or Garnier, we've seen a huge shift in them trying to make their ingredient list better.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. It's not necessarily where I feel comfortable using them yet, but
you know what though? You know what still lives in my mind that I'm like, I just love is that Neutrogena grapefruit acne wash. That whole line smells amazing.
Dude, that Neutrogena deep clean. I actually looked into those ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Decent. I used that so much in college and it was actually decent. So we don't hate on all things. There are very few drugstore products where I'm like, I'm in love with you as much as my high-end stuff.
Yeah, maybe we should take a step back and
reevaluate.
And reevaluate. Maybe we're being too snotty, which could be
true.
True.
Speaking of drugstore,
yes.
I want to take a look into 2021. There is a new brand that launched last year that is now available in Target. That I want to try so much, and is Naturium.
Yes.
There was a little bit of conspiracy controversy when this brand launched. I don't even care.
It was a controversy.
It was a controversy.
Yeah.
But I think these products I've seen a lot of people use them. They look phenomenal.
People have said that their formulations are good.
Is great. And the price point is good. And now they are like exclusively sold at Target. And I am here for that.
I didn't know it was exclusive at Target. You mean besides their site?
Correct. Okay, I don't know if I'm sure they'll go into other retailers at some point, but currently they're exclusive at Target.
Good for them.
And I'm trying really hard to not go buy their entire beauty line because I don't have space in my medicine cabinet for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I've seen them pop up and I definitely have been like, oh, this looks interesting. So I totally get that. Well, my drugstore brand to try in 2021 is a line that also recently launched some of their products at Target, not all of them, I believe. And me being the person that I am, already ordered one of their products and it's on its way. And I think it's getting here tomorrow. This brand is Rosen, Rosen. And I heard about it on Instagram. I think that they sold through Urban Outfitters, because when I was looking at purchasing it over the summer, I think that popped up as a retailer, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But they have this super smoothie cleanser that I have been drawn to, and I cannot wait to try it. And it looks like a berry smoothie.
I know this brand. Sorry, I'm looking it up. Yeah, they only have one product at Target.
Whoa, because when I ordered it, they had some of their other stuff, but
they must have sold out then. Good for them.
Sold out, yeah. So here's the thing: it's technically not a typical drugstore brand, but they are available at the drugstore. So I classified it as that. So I am so excited to try it.
This looks awesome.
We'll definitely
I love their packaging.
Yeah. Well, they started out. I was on their website and they were like, it was this young woman who was really sick of the typical, I guess, skincare for acne. And I was like, my person.
Preach.
Yes. And I just have not stopped thinking about smoothies on my face and, to eat. So I was like, here, best of both worlds. I'll order it when I do my Target order. So finally I hit my $35 Target free shipping minimum, popped it in the cart, and there we go. It helped me get to my $35 minimum. I'll say that. Yeah.
You'll have to tell me how you like it, because I definitely want to explore more drugstore. Yeah. So that might have been an awkward transition, but perks of living at home is your parents walking in on you while you're recording because you forgot to tell them that you were recording. My mom was really interested in Carrie's shoes from Sex and the City.
Oh, yes.
She was like, did you know they're $1,000 shoes? And I was like, yeah. Who pays for that? And I was like, if I was a millionaire, I would. That should be the theme of this episode. If I was a millionaire, I would.
Yeah.
But
we will make that an episode. That's a great idea. If I was a millionaire, this is what I would buy.
I think here's the thing. I think
skincare wise, let's keep it on.
Skincare wise, okay.
Let's keep it on. Not like, I would buy a house and blah blah blah. No, it's like if I had no budget, this is the skincare I would buy.
Yeah, that would be a great episode. And is it worth the money? Yeah, I think we should definitely do that.
All right, cool.
All right. But anyways, so one of the things that I'm was trying really hard in 2020 to be was budget conscious.
Yes.
And also conscious of like what I was ordering. So I didn't want to keep ordering and using up resources from places like Sephora. So I was doing a lot of Target drive up orders. So if you live in a place where you can drive up,
okay, yeah,
you can basically order it. They'll bring it out to your car and they'll put it in your trunk.
right.
And I was doing that for all of everything we needed from Target. So whatever food we needed, I was shopping for like sweaters and shoes. It didn't have the feel of Target, but
it is
I still
so much different.
It is not as pleasurable, but
no.
I was trying to be safe during the height of the pandemic. And the only way I was feeling happy was by purchasing skincare and beauty products. And so I would add one or two to my cart. And I think that's something I definitely need to not be snobby about moving forward in 2021 is I need to try more drugstore and just suck it up and not spend hundreds of dollars on skincare.
Well, I will say that when I was living in Denver, we had a super Target right near my apartment that was like 15 minutes from me.
Beautiful.
And I would go there for my groceries, and then they built a liquor store. So in Colorado, during the time that I was there, the liquor laws changed. So you used to, I don't know what the rules are now. I don't know what the rules used to be, but basically I know what the rules used to be. I grew up in California. You need alcohol, you go to Safeway. I moved to Colorado. I turned 21. I'm cooking, something. I always add red wine to all my pasta sauces. I have to go and find a liquor store. So anyway, they passed a law where in some liquor stores, if you had like a separate entrance or whatever, you could have alcohol. So they built within that super Target a little wine and liquor store. And so by the time I was in my last year of living there, I could go to the super Target and get everything I needed. Well, because it was a super Target, they also had not the biggest beauty section I've seen, but quite a good one. I loved going down the aisles and seeing what's new. And when I moved to New York, real estate,
Targets,
as we know,
suck.
Real estate is so expensive. Everything is as small as crammed as it could be. And so, they only really carry high moving items. So there isn't like that Target run that we had in the suburbs.
No.
And Denver is a city, but it was a super Target. So it was bigger than other urban Targets. So, but at the same time, we do have, what we talked about last week is that we do have Duane Reade, which, you said doesn't have some of the options that your Walgreens has or whatever. So it's, it's an interesting mix because anyway, I do love to roam, but I think some of the exploration and finding these brands, same as when you go to Sephora, you go in and you look at the different features and you say, oh, this is new or whatever. But Target, because it's such a different type of store than Sephora, like I feel like you have to go in brand or in store to find it. You go on their homepage, it could be Halloween costumes. Like even if you go on the Target app or you go on the Target website and you're trying to shop for beauty products, it's not the same layout because it's not a dedicated space for beauty. It's not a dedicated space really for any type of one product. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely going in the store, taking your time, picking stuff up, reading it, all of which we didn't do in 2020,
No,
like we can't just go around touching everything and reading everything and just leaving the house for non-essential errands, so it's just I totally get that. But maybe someday in 2021 or even later we'll be able to do that and feel more comfortable doing that. So
for sure,
dawdling around, that's not something that we did when we left the house this year. We didn't dawdle.
It's sad that I miss it so much, but yes.
Yeah. All right. So the next category, this is the second to last. I'll try and cut this episode down to make it not so long, but I just realized how many categories there were, but this is the second to last. We're almost done. The high-end brand to try in 2021. For me, I put Holy Frog. I have
never heard of this brand.
I've seen this brand all over Instagram. They started out as a cleanser brand, and then they just released their first non-cleanser product like a couple months ago, and it's a hydrating milky serum, like
nice,
like little serum drops, and it looks beautiful. It literally has taken all of me not to order some of their products, and I think next time that Drugstore has a sale, I will, because they sell on Drugstore and they have this scrubby wash that looks good. Like I love cleansers for some reason. I go through phases of all I want is a shampoo or all I want is different masks or whatever. This year it was cleansers. And I am I've heard amazing things about them, and I'm really, really excited to try them in 2021.
They sound really nice, and I think I have to go take a look at them.
You definitely have to go take a look.
Never heard of that brand.
Yeah.
My brand is like hilarious. When I actually sat down to think about what high-end brand I've always wanted to try but never actually purchased from, and it's Biossance. So
Same.
I love their packaging. I love their brand story. I have sold the crap out of Biossance when I was at Sephora. And they did give us like some tiny itty bitty testers. So I think I've tried like their oil. I think I've tried like the rose and the squalene, and then I had like their peptide eye gel. But I did recently, with the Christmas coupon that came with VIB, bought their squalene elderberry cleanser.
Oh yeah.
My first product I'm going to try. I'm waiting for my Fenty cleanser to be used up, because 1 in, 1 out is the mantra for 2021.
Yes.
So
I do want to try Biossance so bad.
I'm very intrigued, because their products, I did also take home a sample back when sampling was a thing, of their lactic acid treatment. And
I was just about to say that I really want to try that.
Oh, that is one of those products we were talking about, like 2 weeks and you see a difference. 4 days and I saw a difference. It was the biggest change in my skin I had seen since the first time I'd used Good Genes by Sunday Riley. And it was way less irritating, way more fun, like beautiful. But Biossance is the one I want to try.
Yeah, I think they released a larger size of that lactic, like that cream with lactic acid or something, or it's a treatment. I honestly don't know. I really need to look into it. But yeah, they have some beautiful products that I really, really want to try as well. So hopefully we can both do that.
All right. So final category of the evening is favorite ingredient trend we are looking forward to. I'm sorry. Favorite ingredient trend from the past year.
Oh my God, if this is what we're looking forward to, I did it wrong.
I just am getting tired and I haven't eaten yet.
Sarah, that's why we started later tonight, so that you could eat.
But I wanted a nap.
Oh, I get it.
And I cleaned my room. I'm trying really hard to like keep my space clean, to keep my mind clean, because 2021 is all about my mind being okay.
Yes.
Since 2020 it wasn't. She says through gritted teeth. But the favorite ingredient trend from 2020.
Yeah.
Do you want to start?
Yeah. So mine's not necessarily, I mean, it is. So mine is acid toners. And I think we can agree based on my answers to some of these categories. But basically, what I saw in 2020 was the return of real products that actually do what they say they're going to do, because they're formulated correctly and not too strong and not too weak. So again, as an acne person, I've tried so many overly strong products that I was so happy that we got these acid toners that were just at a good percent. Like a lot of salicylic acid I see is between 0.5 and 2%. And for me, the sweet spot is between 1.5 and 2% of salicylic acid. Now, to be honest, whether it's like AHA or BHA acid, I think both will work. But for me specifically, I think of salicylic acid, which I know falls into one of those categories, and it's
BHA.
BHA. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah. I knew you would remember, because I always get them confused. But I just love that they made a comeback. Honestly, it was like brands realized that just saying blemish is not what I'm not dealing with blemishes. I'm dealing with acne. I need a real product that's formulated correctly for this. But they didn't say acne toner, right? They said pore clearing. And I was like, okay, so were you thinking of acne people, or did it also just happen to work for me as an acne person?
That's a really good thought, because there were so many pore toners this year, right?
Like do they not want to alienate people that aren't looking for specific acne? But then they're also formulating, if it's a 2% salicylic acid toner, right? And if that's one of the only acid or the main acid, then they know that people with acne prone skin are going to recognize that, or they're going to benefit from that. Like now I'm wondering, now I'm all up in my head. Like
I wonder if I think it was probably that intentional. They didn't want to alienate people. Like me, I'm never going to grab an acne product.
Right.
Even though that product, like Deep Clean or Deep Swipe, is basically an acne toner, right? Deep Sweep, let's get real.
That's what I'm saying. It's a 2% salicylic acid toner. And you know what else is? Though I think actually it might be 1.5%, but it's that Clinique one. But which is sexier on your shelf? Which is sexier on your Instagram page? A pore clearing toner or an acne toner? So yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. And so like, yeah, I definitely stay away from acne products because like that scares me. That means it's harsh. It's going to hurt my skin. And that's not the case. It's just the way that they like market it to you. So,
it's the way that acne marketed products have affected your skin.
Exactly.
And so then you make that correlation.
Yeah.
Okay. Sarah just brought up to me that there might have been a tapping, and I really apologize. I wasn't able to hear that, but if there is a tapping, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We still love you.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think acid toners, I definitely see that trend and I hope it continues to evolve. Same. I like it.
Yeah.
My trend, again, we are very what our skin needs, clearly.
Yes.
I really loved CBD as a trend. I kind of talked about that earlier. Yeah. I loved seeing the different ways that it was used. So there are a bunch of different, either with the THC and without the THC. I'm not huge into CBD and how that exactly everything works.
They put THC in skincare?
In body care.
Does it get you high?
It numbs you. I love it for my neck pain.
But that's what CBD does, I thought.
So I don't know. Let's keep this in. Truth be told, I have no idea how it works in skincare, and I definitely need to do more research. I do remember there was a Lord Jones, the owners of Lord Jones, came into a store that I was working at in New York and did this whole pitch education seminar. Sorry.
MLM education. Or pyramid scheme. You pick.
Choose your adventure.
We're not calling Lord Jones an MLM.
Is not an MLM.
I'm just saying she called it okay. I'm not going to go into it, but I just want to put it out there.
If that's something you're interested in, talking about like MLM beauty brands, I would love to speak about it because I've gotten pitched by MLM brands more this year than ever in my history. I think that should be like
a story time episode because that's never happened. Oh, but you know what? We should, because I went to college not knowing what Mary Kay was, and I came out of it really knowing what Mary Kay was.
Really aware.
So we'll do that for an episode for sure.
Yeah, we'll do a story time about like our MLM beauty experiences.
Yes.
Because that's a community that I've fallen into the rabbit hole of at the start of this year.
Yes.
But I don't know how CBD works. I know that the Lord Jones owners came in and they explained it all, but because I wasn't a cast member at that point, I couldn't sit down and learn. So I do believe there is something to be said about the concentration of.
See, I always thought look it CBD. Up. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. In Denver, they legalized pot, right? So you could go to a dispensary if you were 21 and purchase weed. You could also purchase CBD beauty products, and I don't remember if they had THC or not. And it's not because I was high. It's because I never looked into it. So I was I was just under the impression that CBD calms you down. And I thought that's what also is in the ingredient in skincare and body care that calms. But I always associated THC as something totally different, and the psycho.
It 100% is. I'm just discovering how much of a moron I am.
No, and you're not a moron. You're not a moron.
And clearly how little of this education presentation that I had missed. So on the Sephora website, again, this is just Sephora.com.
Yeah.
Under the Lord Jones, this is their like lotion.
Yeah.
It says it's 100 milligrams of CBD. And hemp oil, which is different than hemp seed oil or sativa seed oil.
Yes.
It does not contain CBD and does not deliver its buzzworthy benefits.
It does not contain THC, you mean?
Correct. They didn't say THC, but yes, it doesn't contain the buzzworthy benefits.
Yeah.
So
it's like these products, right? There's a strain called Charlotte's Web that it's like a tincture that they created, and a little girl named Charlotte who was having crazy seizures, she took it, right? Or her parents administered it to her. And you should look up the story. It's wild. I'm not going to say this right, but she went from having X amount of seizures per day to 2 a month,
much less.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But crazy, like enough less where she was able to go to school. Like that's how bad it was. And it was just because they had removed the psychoactive part of it, and it was just calming her nervous system where she wasn't having these crazy seizures, and she could start to live her life as, I think she was 8 or 10 or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I always thought about it in skincare. Obviously not to that extreme, but I thought, So that's correct. Okay. So it's CBD calming your redness, and
correct.
And then it doesn't
so
have
it's
the THC,
a restorative, soothing ingredient.
Right.
And at least for the Lord Jones, which I've used their body lotion before.
Yeah.
Again, their oil is like $100 a bottle. And here's the thing. I get it with the CBD, right? Like it probably is super expensive to manufacture that
and
extraction.
License. I don't even know what it's like to license and distribute. Yeah.
So I get it. But theirs is a full and broad CBD spectrum. So it contains a bunch of different parts of the plant. It's not just like an isolate of CBD.
Okay.
Which I'm sure is partially a marketing gimmick.
I don't know. Does that mean stem like, and leaf?
Probably.
I don't know. I feel like an idiot. I can't speak to this because I honestly don't know. And
I don't know enough about it.
I've never tried CBD skincare.
Whether it be, I've never tried full CBD. I've definitely stepped with hemp seed oils and stevia seed.
But I don't think that
sativa,
is
not
CBD.
Stevia. Sativa. It's really not.
Yeah.
So CBD is also, like you said, it's really hard to license. So like I know, for example, the Sephora that's in Disney in California is no longer allowed to carry any hemp or CBD products.
But do you think that's because they want
Disney?
Right. And they just want to keep the image. Yeah.
100%. So, and I know that there are certain like states where CBD products are not allowed to be sold, like New York being one of them. Like New York doesn't have, right? So New York does not have.
I just made a really shocked face because it's a
Sorry, Hannah made a shocked face.
I didn't realize you couldn't sell. So we don't do Lord Jones in these Sephoras?
They do it in the Sephoras, but like technically marijuana is not marijuana. Like who am I? Weed is not legal in New York. It's not even like medically passed or anything like that, which I did not realize.
It's decriminalized, but it's not legal.
But it's not legal.
But it's right. But wait, but CBD is not weed, or is it? Because you said they classify CBD as a weed product.
They do not classify CBD as a weed product.
You just said you can't buy CBD products in New York.
I'm full of shit. I misspoke. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So like,
I was like, you're talking. What is happening? Okay.
Sorry. When I was backpedaling. So there are certain locations and certain states that will not sell those products. Disney being one of them, like 100%. The Disney store does not sell them.
Okay.
Now I do know that there are certain reasons for certain locations to not sell that product that might not be legally based.
Right. Well, I mean, personal choice.
Yeah. And so, I'm sure certain laws are different in different places, but CBD is technically not cannabis. It's not the thing that makes you high. It's not the thing that's illegal. So you can sell it.
So there is Lord Jones in the Sephoras that you worked and were at.
Correct.
In New York. Okay.
Correct. I'm sorry. This is us being very real and showing that like we don't know everything.
Yeah. Well, also that there's a lot of confusion, and it's not just from the consumer side, it's also from the like internal side, you know?
Yeah. Cause I remember the beauty brand that we worked for, one of the things that they would ask us what was trending in stores, and it always came back to CBD last year.
Yeah. So there might have been an awkward cut just there. And what happened is we realized in editing that we might have said something that was probably not, and is most likely not, but I think could have been construed as insider information. So we just decided not to include it and just err on the side of caution. So, anyway, that is that. And back to the rest of the episode.
Your regular scheduled program.
Exactly. But yeah, so anyway, I mean, honestly, ingredients are confusing. And I think the thing with CBD also, I remember when I was working in Denver, we would have some products CBD brands, that were, saying, oh, we'd love for you to try our products. Like, we think it'd be great for your store, blah, 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 blah. And this was in like 2015 and 2016. And obviously in years after, but I was just like, I don't even know how to go about international shipping. Like, who do I talk to if this is even, I mean, this was before it was actually right, because I think Colorado made it legal, I think like for medical or recreational weed, I think in 2015 or something, or that's when it went into like effect. But I was just like, this just seems like a headache to figure out if we can ship it to all 50 states, and if we can even deal with shipping it again, like I said, internationally, because it's honestly, it's such a fine, it's not a fine line, but it is, you know?
I think the legality of it, because it's not a nationally recognized legality at this point. I think if it was like legal
Yeah.
in all 50 states, it'd be so much easier to determine
Yeah.
what
I mean,
is the way to go about it.
I didn't know that it wasn't, it was just something that I have no expertise on. And then at this point, you're the one,
Yeah.
Sarah, that has the most, because you've had that pitch from a CBD brand that has to deal with all these potential
Yeah.
legal ramifications. So,
And it makes me super sad because I wish I had been able to sit in on it was like a beautifully crafted education presentation.
yeah.
Because they had their founders come in and sit in the back room with like 3 to 4 people that worked at Sephora, and they spent 45 minutes educating them on all the different parts. And at one point, when I was taking my lunch, you could hear them say, "Now I know it's super confusing. What questions do you have?" And they would go round robin and just repeat themselves. So it's not like it's easy to comprehend.
Right.
But I think what I like about the trend of CBD is that it is becoming something that's more commonplace.
For
And
sure.
I
Some
think
people think it's oversaturated though. Like I saw on Instagram, some of these
really,
some of these influencers, they'll say like, what is a beauty trend you hope dies in 2020 or whatever? And some of the responses were CBD. But I think it's that one person gets really successful with it, one brand gets really successful with it, or like a bunch of brands all at the same time seem to get a lot of exposure, even though some of these brands could have been doing CBD for 10 or 15 years. Who knows? I
yeah,
don't know. They could have been, but all of a sudden you see all of these celebrities now saying, I take CBD gummies, I use CBD oil, I use CBD skincare products. And all of a sudden it seems like every single person. So it seems like it is this like brand new trend, even though I'm sure
it isn't.
I'm sure it isn't, right? And
Yeah.
I'm sure there is some sort of, so I think it could be just like we're seeing it too often, that those people are just seeing it way too often come up on their
Yeah.
feed, that they're just like, okay, I'm over it, like it needs to leave.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
it has so many amazing benefits. Like, I think if anyone suffers from oversensitized skin, your moisture barrier has been depleted. I
Yeah.
think hemp seed oil, which you can get from Mountain Rose Herbs,
Yes.
um, you don't necessarily have to buy a specific brand, but just hemp seed oil, like
Yeah. Yeah.
sativa seed oil, is so beneficial for calming and soothing the skin. And I would love to see how CBD itself, that full spectrum, I guess what they called it,
Right.
is incorporated. It right now it's only in an oil and a body lotion. I would like to see it. I don't necessarily think in makeup, but I think in serums or eye creams or moisturizers and how they're going
Yeah.
to
And I'm sure those
work around that
exist. And
formulation.
I feel like I've seen that out there on social media and in general.
And maybe
So
if you have a product recommendation
yeah, like
for
CBD.
anything,
Yeah.
yeah, shoot us a DM on our Instagram, which is
Barefaced.podcast.
and we also have an email where you can send us your recommendations and stories or any ideas of things you'd like us to talk about, which is barefaced.podcast@gmail.com.
That was such a smooth transition. I did not see that coming.
Thank you.
Whoa.
I'm like a
Yeah.
smooth criminal.
Whoa.
Whoa.
We're
Well,
gonna wrap it up.
we've
We've
been
been
blabbing,
rambling. Yes.
but that's why you're here. And we hope that you subscribe to
Yeah,
our
we hope you guys
podcast.
enjoyed. And if there's any constructive criticism and feedback, obviously this is just episode 2, but we are so, so open to it. If you hate our recording, please let us know. I am so open to it. Or if you have like, I'm a sound engineer, this is what you have to do to stop
Make it sound
hearing.
better.
Please let us know. We're just super down with it. So yeah, thank you guys so, 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 so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed. Please, subscribe, leave us reviews, and we'll see you next
Comment.
week. Yes.
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 Thanks so much. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.